Hi, this is Dr. Eric Fields. I'm a psychologist specializing in gambling addiction. Today, I want to talk about the anticipatory effect that occurs with compulsive gamblers. The anticipation of placing a bet is many times much more exciting than actually having the bet and waiting to see whether or not you win. And then, even if you win, that excitement seems to pale in comparison to the anticipation. And this doesn't happen to the same degree with moderate or social gamblers, people who don't have an issue with gambling. But with compulsive gamblers, the real high with gambling is that anticipation. The distance from here to pressing that place the bet button, especially if we're talking about sports betting, but it could be any kind of online betting that really lends itself to this, instant gratification. That is the height of the high that you're going to get from gambling. And so knowing this information can help you combat urges very effectively because urges thrive off of this fact. And so, what an urge thought will say to you is this is going to be so exciting. Can't you feel the excitement? It's going to be so great. And then, as you're punching in the number that you're thinking about wagering, and that finger goes towards that button, at that moment, it confirms what the urge has told you that this is going to be really, really exciting. And so, in this moment, you may feel like an automaton that has no choice because the urge thought has told you how great it's going to feel, and it is feeling that great. How can you possibly refuse? The problem is that this urge thought also wants you to believe that this excitement, this anticipatory excitement that you're getting right before you're about to place that bet, is going to keep on lasting throughout that that night of gambling. And that's where the real lie is, right? That's where that compulsive urge is BSing you. Because that anticipation and the high that you get during that moment is as good as it gets. And so often compulsive gamblers will realize this so quickly early on into their gambling for a particular night. As soon as they place that bet and press that button, it's pretty much all downhill from there. Now, there will be peaks and valleys with wins and losses, but it will just never be as good as that anticipation right before you place that first bet. And the wins you'll start to get numb to. They won't even be that exciting. You'll have to use more and more money because you're chasing that high that you got, not just from that first bet, but just before you actually place that first bet. And so it's, think of like this, sleazy salesman trying to tell you how amazing this product is going to make you feel. And you listen to them and you get the product and you realize that you've been swindled. It's not nearly as good as they made it sound. But you anticipated that it was going to be really great from the sales pitch. And so that is what these compulsive gambling urges thrive off of. Knowing that the anticipation is going to be so high for you. And if they can just drum up that anticipation in you, that those urges know that that level of excitement you're going to falsely assume is just going to carry on throughout the rest of the evening. And so you're going to press that button. So in that moment, and I know I'm talking about these urges as if, they're, some other person's voice, but, to simplify matters, we want to almost look at them as like some foreign voices, right? That are trying to get us to do this thing that we shouldn't listen to, like these strangers trying to get us to do this bad behavior. And so the first thing you need to say to these urges is, you are lying. You are lying. The anticipation of doing the bet is it. That's the end of it. That's the highest of highs I'm going to have all evening. Once I press this button, it's all downhill. Stop trying to make me believe that it's going to keep being this good for the rest of the night. It's not. You're lying to me. I'm going to get numb even with the wins. I'm going to have to bet more and more money. And even the bigger bets are still going to pale in comparison to how good you tried to sell me on it being. And it's false. Now, I said there was a second useful part of this knowledge, knowing that there is this anticipation effect that is the greatest high you're going to most likely have during your evening of betting, right? So the second useful part of this knowledge is, so wait a minute. You can get a real high just thinking about doing a behavior without even doing it? Well, yes. Think about how common it is for us as adults to delay gratification, to have goals and wait to be able to wait before we actually accomplish them, or to have things to look forward to. How do we delay gratification? You think about that, and a lot of times we take that for granted, our ability to delay gratification. We just think like, oh, it's just like this special muscle that we've developed. And, maybe that metaphor is true to some degree, but I'm going to tell you the secret to delaying gratification. We all need carrots, right? Because right now, that compulsive gambling that you're doing is a carrot for whatever, to get you through the next hour or day, to get you through the week. It's a carrot. How do I get through, the grueling week that I have ahead of me, or this grueling day of work that I have to do, right? Well, everybody has carrots. And yes, sometimes there are activities that we do to reward ourselves, like these healthy kinds of activities. But a lot of times, you know what the carrot really is for so many of us that helps us delay gratification? It's the anticipation. It's the anticipation. What's really trendy, or what has been really trendy for a while, has been like this whole idea of visualization, right? Visualization exercises, visualize it, right? You can't go where your mind hasn't gone first. This simple exercise is so important and effective because it works with this idea that the anticipation of accomplishing a goal, or of going to a fun event, or having an enjoyable time that you have to wait for, right? It's not till next week or next month or even next year, right? The anticipation of that can be the carrot that's so reinforcing that keeps us going. And how do we kind of like conceptualize that carrot, because it's not like a tangible thing, right? It's not like another kind of carrot, like I'm going to reward myself with some ice cream or a TV show, or right. It's mental. It's an internal carrot. It's not an external carrot. It's an internal carrot. And the internal carrot is this imagery, this visualizing of what it's going to be like to accomplish that goal, to, you know, get to that greater level of success that you've been working so hard for at your job, to go to that fun activity, to go on that fun vacation. It's the visualization. And so, this anticipatory effect that happens with compulsive gamblers as it relates to placing bets proves that just the mere thought of doing an activity or accomplishing something that we perceive as positive can be super reinforcing. And sometimes it's the anticipation that's even better. I'll throw another cliche out there. The journey is just as good, or if not better, than the destination, right? Well, that's based off of what I'm saying here. It's, anticipating getting to that destination, whether it be a level of success or a place you want to go visit or a fun thing you're going to do. Anticipation is the carrot that helps us delay gratification. And this fact that we know about compulsive gamblers and how strong that effect is with them really just proves that all of us get a big high off anticipating positive things. And so you can use this knowledge to say, hey, I need to start setting goals, to start planning fun activities, and having things to look forward to in the near future, and also the more distant future, things that are going to be really meaningful to me that I perceive as going to be giving me a big high, right? And going to make me feel really good. And then visualizing them each day, like, wow, another week down, I'm closer to this fun, good, positive thing. And that being the carrot, right? So, this idea of having the internal carrot to motivate you to do activities other than gambling. We can use this for that as well. Okay? So, the two takeaways: the gambling urges thrive off of the anticipatory effect of compulsive gambling and use that to fool us and lie to us, thinking that the actual gambling is going to be as good and if not better, right? Stands to reason that if the anticipation is so great, we'd think doing it is even greater, right? It's not. And then also using that anticipatory effect to help us visualize things in our future, plan things in our future, and then visualize things in our future that we are going to perceive as really, really rewarding. And then visualizing that each day, and that being the carrot. Oh, this is a tough day at work. Ooh, I can't wait for that vacation. Oh, I can't wait to get to that, can't wait to get that promotion. I can't wait for this good thing to happen in a couple weeks. I can't wait to lose that extra body fat, right? Whatever the goal is, and how good that's going to make me feel. Okay? So this is Dr. Fields on the anticipatory effect of compulsive gambling. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please let me know in the comments section, and I'll have more to say about this at a later date.